So we got a lot to talk about this week, but then again, I feel like I kinda say that about every week. I guess that could be in part due to the fact that there's just so much to talk about though, I don't know. Regardless, I am very excited this week, and you guys should be too. We got plenty of updates, we got new games, and we just have so much to discuss. So let's just take a few minutes to relax and jump into this week's Weekly Byte of MMORPG news. The last time I talked about Terra was when I did my dedicated video on it. Barely anything has been announced or revealed since then, but on February 11th, that changed with the new Crescent Sea update going live and bringing with it the new Ellen Valkyrie and a new 5-man dungeon called the Sea of Honor. The dungeon is targeted at level 70 players and requires you to fight field bosses and clear dungeons to obtain a voyage map, allowing you to set out and tackle the dungeon. See, Terra still gets content, just, not really very much. Now, love Bless or hate Bless, the reality is that Bless Unleashed is launching on March 12th with Founders Packs being available for purchase right now. The Founders Packs in question range from $20 to $80, with the most expensive package providing a whopping 15-day head start over other players, which is 5 days more than the middle package. Upon launch, Bless Unleashed will be free to play, so if you'd rather not spend any money on the game, then you could just go ahead and wait. Granted, with the track record of Bless, I would say if you really want to risk playing Unleashed, you should probably wait until it launches free and jump in then. If you're a fan of Neverwinter, then this is exactly what you need. Earlier this month, a roadmap for 2020 was released showing quite a bit of content planned for the year. There is one module slated for 2020, Module 19 titled Avernus, and a module slated for 2021, but that has an unconfirmed title. Avernus will feature 4 new episodes, each a part of the Saga of Lucimia, with episode 1 beginning in July and ending with episode 4 in October. Honestly, to get specifics, you're probably gonna want to either head on over to the official website or the subreddit, because there's just a lot of information to go through. Okay, so this is actually pertaining to the South Korean version of Blade & Soul, but let's be real here, we get every update they get anyway, just a little bit later, so this is still very worth talking about. So NCSoft announced that along with their Unreal 4 engine upgrade of the graphical engine, there will be new alternate Frontier World servers featuring an overhaul of character growth, a revamp of the battle system, and its third spec for the Force Master. The Frontier World servers will exist alongside the normal servers and run concurrently, interestingly enough. On that note, if you're actually looking to get more information pertaining to the Unreal 4 engine update, I am going to be doing a more dedicated video for that sometime next week. So a couple weeks ago, Astellia had a bit of a whoopsie, I guess. See, they launched onto Steam, and due to what they claim was a bug at the time, players weren't able to refund the game and instantly jumped to the conclusion that it was a scam. I received a ton of messages to cover what was going on, but by the time I had even thought to write something up, the issues were pretty much resolved and positive reviews were coming in. Weeks after the debacle, the Steam version of the game still has 1,000 concurrent players, and the game itself has many more playing through their own launcher. The game itself is still doing surprisingly good, and that is honestly refreshing to see. I don't think I have ever done a video on Wild Terra 2 before, but here we are with the medieval sandbox MMORPG going into closed alpha testing until March 1st. The game is going to be fully functional during the alpha test, offering a variety of features like hunting, crafting, fishing, mounts, PvP, and more. There is no NDA currently in place, however, I would like to note that to get into the alpha test, you're going to have to fork over at least $125 for the cheapest package. I definitely do not think that this is worth it in any capacity, but they did send Mrs. Stix and I alpha keys to test the game out, so you should be on the lookout for our Wild Terra 2 video sometime in the near future. I did a video on Saga of Lucimia recently, but this is surprising news to me. As it stands, the game looks to be going the pay-to-play route, offering players a subscription-based business model. However, recently they have actually expressed interest in going another route. They noted that while they have always wanted to be a subscription-based MMO, they understand that a hybrid model might be a better option to pursue. Saga of Lucimia doesn't look to be releasing this year, and next year might be a bit of a stretch as well. Nevertheless, they are looking to release in a couple of years, but knowing indie MMOs, I doubt that. Phantasy Star Online 2 recently completed their closed beta test for the Xbox One. While there is no closed beta slated for the PC currently, I do hope that the PSO2 team learn a few things from this. The beta test ultimately had to be extended due to various issues like too many players logging into ship 1, authentication issues, repeated maintenance, crashes, and disconnects. Granted, this was to be expected, of course. This is the very first beta they've ever had, and anyone that thinks it should have went smoothly clearly do not participate in many closed beta tests. Overall, personally here, I believe that the test went over very well, and I'm kind of excited for when or if the beta rolls around for PCs. Mrs. Sticks and I played Temtem until we ran out of current content. I honestly didn't think that we would be getting new content this soon, but I am still nevertheless pleasantly surprised. A brand new map called the Saipark was introduced that allows players to seek out varying different Temtem species each week. The Temtem found within the Saipark will feature a higher chance of being a Luma and the chance of having better stats. If you guys have ever played Pokemon, then this more or less functions kinda like the Safari Zone from the Pokemon games, even offering players special Sai cards like the Safari Balls with which to capture the Temtem within the Saipark itself. If you recall, Pearl Abyss rolled out a Battle Royale game mode for Black Desert a while ago called the Shadow Arena. Shortly after, they removed the game mode and announced that it would be receiving its very own standalone version in the coming year. Fast forward to February 2020, the Shadow Arena is actually launching its very first closed beta. Registration for the beta test is available right now, with the beta specifically taking place between February 27th and March 8th. After a delay, Star Wars: The Old Republic released their latest update titled Pinnacles of Power. There were issues with the patch initially, but it ended up being rolled out on February 13th. Patch 6.1 brought quite a few changes that honestly are just easier to go through if you go on over to the official Old Republic website, because otherwise I will just kind of be reading through patch notes, and that is something that none of us really feel will be all that interesting. Honestly though, I have not seen an update for the Star Wars MMO in a little while, so this is kind of exciting news. I was very shocked when I saw that Allods Online was still receiving updates in 2020, but it is receiving an entirely new expansion titled The Soul of Darkness. The expansion brings with it a continuation of the storyline, a brand new dungeon called Nihaza's Citadel, alterations to XP, an increase in profession levels, and honestly, this is a pretty damn decent update. Now, I wouldn't really go as far as calling it an expansion, honestly, as the update specifically brings about 10 hours or less of content, but it is what it is. You guys should be happy that it's still getting updated. It looks like with the frequency of Final Fantasy XIV's patches, I'll be talking about it somewhat often, I guess. Both Mrs. Sticks and I actively play Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, so we're always aware whenever new updates go live. The latest update, specifically 5.2, titled Echoes of a Fallen Star, introduced a brand new dungeon, a new trial, an extreme version of the very same trial, the 4 new Eden raids, the savage version of the very same raids, new gear, a continuation of the story, and geez, it's always so shocking to me how large each and every patch is and how much content they just push into these. Seriously, there's just so much content that you'll likely find yourself highly entertained for at least the next 4 to 6 weeks. Although, just a quick little note here regarding Final Fantasy XIV, I'm going to be doing a more updated look at Final Fantasy XIV now that we're pushing into 5.2 and we're almost through. I think there are like 6 big patches per Final Fantasy XIV expansion, so that leaves us almost halfway through it so far, and the video I hope will be ready by the next patch, and then hopefully, I guess it'll be published around the middle at that point. While making my way through my third Kingdom Under Fire 2 video, I noticed that there was a brand new large update in the works. Granted, there have been several since its release back in November, but nevertheless, this one specifically, titled Grave of Time, adds a brand new 8-player dungeon that is targeted at level 30 players. Like any addition of new content in the form of dungeons or raids, there will be new gear added and various changes made to the game overall. Additionally, if you haven't already noticed, then the game is completely free to play until February 24th, so make sure to try it out if you haven't already. There have been a lot of updates made to Blue Protocol recently. Changes to gameplay mechanics like the addition of fall damage, changes to overall animation such as running and fighting, new hairstyles, customization options, but most importantly, the game has been announced to be releasing as a free-to-play MMORPG. No pay-to-play subscription fee, and no buy-to-play one-time purchase fee. The game will feature a season pass while providing cosmetic items in the cash shop such as outfits and other items that have no effect on gameplay and provide no advantages to players. The other thing worth noting is that they've confirmed there will be no PvP in-game, but instead the instanced arenas will field waves of monsters for groups of players to combat together. The closed beta is currently accepting applications, so if you haven't already, I urge you to use the link in the description in the pinned comment to sign up now. Quick note, I do actually have a much larger, much more in-depth video for Blue Protocol coming. I think it's going to go live probably sometime Monday morning. It's going to cover all of the content of the newest live stream that went live on Thursday night, Friday morning, around there. So if you want kind of like a recap of everything, all the information that was released regarding Blue Protocol in the last live stream, then you're going to want to go ahead and watch that video on Monday. And that is it. This is all of the MMO related news that has been brought to my attention over the last 2 weeks. If you know of any that I missed, you're more than welcome to hit me up on Twitter or on Instagram or even on Discord with the link to the article so I can talk about it.
Someday soon I'm gonna make it, yeah.